One of the things I hate most about online chess is running out of time when I'm in a completely winning position. So in today's video, I decided to remove that problem entirely. Today, we're going to be taking on another chess YouTuber in a full 30-minute classical game, where both of us have enough time to calculate, plan, and play our best chess. Throughout the game, the perspective switches depending on whose turn it is, so you'll hear both players' thought processes in real time and see exactly what they're calculating. In today's video, I'm facing I Want Checkmate, or Tony, who sits at around 2,100 rapid on Lichess, whilst my rapid sits at around a similar rating. Last time I versed Tony on this channel, we drew, so I'm really looking to win the rematch in today's video. A big thank you to Tony for coming on the channel. I'll leave all of his links in the description below, but let's get right into the match.
Okay, we are playing a classical chess game against Tony. I Want Checkmate. I'm just going to play what I would normally play in an over-the-board game, and I would play d4. Yeah, I want to just play my regular over-the-board repertoire against Tony here. I know that 30 minutes, a lot of people will debate if this is actually classical. I can't get a YouTuber to agree to playing a 90-minute classical game with me. I'm sure I could, but it would make scheduling very, very difficult. And also, in the context of a YouTube video, 30 minutes makes a lot more sense. So Tony is playing d5 against my d4. I played with the black pieces last time we played Tony, and we did draw. It was a d4, d5 game, but he played the London system. And I don't play the London, not anymore. Those days are over. Let's play c4.
Okay. Somebody's been watching Netflix. Kidding, I don't know. I really don't know what his opening repertoire is, but we do get a Queen's Gambit. Of course, we are going to decline it. The question is how. Should we play c6, e6? En passant back to d3, so many options. Okay, I should probably take this seriously. I need to focus up or else I'm going to get bamboozled. He's a much stronger player than I am. So I don't have the liberty to be goofing and gaffing. Let's play c6.
Okay, so he plays the Slav, which I've got a decent repertoire against. I wouldn't say it's the strongest part of my repertoire. By the way, we should have 10 seconds of increment on every move. I think just knight c3 here is the most accurate mainline move. You can also play knight f3 probably. But let's go ahead with knight c3. There's no way to really avoid the Slav. It transposes into a Catalan sometimes, but, you know, whether you play knight f3 or knight c3 typically doesn't matter. Knight c3 actually does give you the opportunity to go for some nice mainline stuff with knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, and then sometimes they can do this like weird move bishop f5, bishop g5, which loses. Not loses, gives white a good advantage, but we'll go with knight c3.
The thing is, with the black pieces, you're always a tempo behind, so I think this is well known at this point. If you're watching this video, you probably play chess, but like intrinsically, you're not really in a position to play offense. You're kind of always playing for even, and then later down the game, you're like trying to play for advantage, if you're not already kind of set on just drawing the game with the black pieces. So I wonder if I should play a more reserved line like knight f6, e6. Traps my own bishop, but it could turn into like a Dutch. Maybe I can turn it into something aggressive. Worst case scenario, knight f6, e6. The bishop stays back here for a little bit longer than I would like, and then later down the line, I would go for like e5 or c5 or some sort of center break. Because, right, we already have knight c3 on the board, so more pressure on d5. I'm going to stay flexible for now and play knight to f6.
Okay, so he plays knight f6, which is just logical. We can follow up with the move that we previously addressed, which is knight f3.
Okay, knight to f3. Here's my concern. I don't really have like super thorough prep because most of the games that I play are bullet or blitz, sometimes rapid. So for a classical game, there's nothing stopping him from calculating very deeply into any dubious move that I play. Let me give you, for instance, if I play bishop f5, trying to set up the London system with the black pieces, except I'm one tempo behind, I don't have the same tricks with the black pieces that I would with the white pieces. So if he capitalizes with something like queen b3 targeting b7, I don't believe there's knight to a6. Yeah, there isn't knight to a6 because after queen takes b7, I can't play knight to b4 looking for knight c2 like I would if I had the white pieces. Because I'm one tempo behind, I don't have the bishop protecting the knight. That would simply be a hanging knight. So again, bishop f5, queen b3, I could like play e6 or something and just completely gambit the pawn, develop the knight, gambit a second pawn, develop the bishop, gambit a third pawn. I could legally do this. But again, he would have 29 minutes and 14 seconds to absolutely dismantle me. So, unfortunately, against my kind of intuition slash play style, I'm going to have to hunker down here a little bit. I'm going to play e6.
Okay, I'll actually save my train of thought for later because this is going in the actual video. I was talking to the people on Patreon that are seeing the full perspective, so don't mind me. So he's playing a semi-Slav, and this can often transpose into just a regular Catalan. So I like to play g3 here. There's not really a one-size-fits-all way to play the semi-Slav. It's not sharp for white. It's theoretical, I know, but it's only theoretical if you're a grandmaster, I feel. I've never really had any really big theory battles in the semi-Slav. So let's just play g3 here and try to transpose into a Catalan.
So we get pawn to g3. I'm not really sure if I can play my normal game, but I'm starting to think I can. And what I mean by that is my normal sort of attack, right? And I think I can. Let's go bishop d6. This is, I think, relatively inconspicuous.
Tony's played bishop d6, which is a bad move. Not a bad move. It's just a little bit subpar because later on I'll get e4 with the threat of e5. So typically you want to play bishop e7 in the semi-Slav, I think. I think that just bishop g2 should be good. So, let's not even think and let's just play it.
It's amusing because I always say in my videos that when you see somebody fianchetto where they're about to castle their king, it's kind of like an invitation to tickle their position with your pawn, try to open up the semi-open file, and then maybe get checkmate kind of quickly.
Okay, so sorry, I'm trying to talk to the people on Patreon, but Tony is playing so fast. That is why I'm laughing. But knight bd7, an interesting move. This is looking like it'll go into a Catalan, but with a weird setup where the bishop is on d6. Typically, you don't see Catalans where black plays bishop d6. They usually play bishop b5 or bishop e7, but we can just go ahead and castle, I think. There's no real... You don't want to play c5 in these positions because they'll just back up and play e5. The difference is if they try to play e5 right now, we'll just take in the center, and, they're left with an IQP, which is not good. So we can just castle here, and there's no real impending threat at all from black. So let's go ahead and castle.
Okay, we do get kingside castles. It's funny on... actually, two things. Wow, I have so much to say, and none of it has anything to do with chess. It's funny because on the call before we started recording, he was like, hey man, no pressure if you just want to calculate or whatever. Feel free to go quiet for a second. My editor will cut it out. And now I've found myself with plenty of things to say, so now I'm going to be yapping about stuff that doesn't even have to do with chess. But anyways, my philosophy... This does have to do with chess. My philosophy for this game, we were also talking about in the call before the movie Obsession, which I did go to watch with my girlfriend, and I was terrified. I guess that's an indication that it's a very well-made movie, but I was very scared the entire time. But I'm also inspired. My philosophy for this game is I'm going to be like the creepy girl, and I'm going to be obsessed with Jack's king. And whatever I do, I will not let it get away from me, right? See, I'm learning something about chess where there isn't even anything that has to do with chess. Okay, so how do I actually put this absolutely diabolical, loony metaphor into work? I don't really know. Maybe h5, but again, bishop g5 is kind of a downer, so maybe h6, g5, but that's not actually going for a pawn break. Maybe queen e7, maybe just b6, get the bishop out, long castles. A lot of different slow ways that I could go about this. I think his overarching plan is just e4, so we can trade everything off. I'm assuming with rook to e1, so the rook would land at the center, knight f6 would kick it back, but we would have very much simplified the position by that point. So maybe knight e4 right away. Should he take, I take back. Knight to g5, f5 loses me e6. So in basically any universe where I want to play knight to e4, I have to have the queen on e7 to defend this pawn. I think that's reasonable. I know, a little bit of a roundabout sort of reasoning that started with a movie and ended with queen to e7, but if it works, I guess.
Okay, sorry, that was a mean reaction. I don't think this is a good move at all. What does that do? Well, I'm not going to play this again because if you play c4, c5 in these positions, they just back up and you just invite them to play this. Maybe here he wants to play e5 himself. Okay, maybe that's not such a ridiculous move. Rook e1, e5, c5 doesn't work as we said. But if takes, it does work because I have tempo on the queen. So let's say rook e1, e5. Probably this is better for me. I think rook e1 just has to be played anyway. Like, bishop f4 doesn't help because, he won't take. He'll just play e5 anyway. Takes. This is not helping. So rook e1 just feels like the natural move. Let's actually think about it concretely, though.
If it wasn't blatantly obvious already, I'm a little bit out of theory here. So I thought now would be a good time to tell you guys how I learn my openings with ChessMind. A big problem I have with other course websites is how memorization driven they are, which is why I specifically choose to work with ChessMind. Their courses all fall under their single subscription fee of less than $5 per month, and each can be completed in around an hour or two. This is because ChessMind puts the priority of understanding the opening and its plans over memorization. We can't possibly memorize every line like grandmasters do, so ChessMind prompts us to learn openings in a different way. Alongside these courses, they have a bunch of cool tools to help absorb everything you learn, from personalized daily lessons to custom puzzles and even full video lessons with Grandmaster Maurizio Flores. I'll put the pricing on screen right now for those who are interested. You can also get an additional 20% off with my code JACKSARK.
Rookie 1, e5. Do we actually have any desire to take? If we take, no, probably not. So Rookie 1, e5, what if we played e4? And his queen is, punish the queen for being on the same file as the king. So if he takes, we just take like this. Yeah, Rookie 1 seems like it must be working. Let's play Rookie 1.
There's rook to e1. Now, knight to e4 is the original idea that I had. Knight takes, pawn takes. If knight to d2 or knight g5, I think both are met with f5. And then I'm really forcing the position to have a kingside attack, where maybe I'm not in a good position to do so, but I think it would hurt my spirit too much to like play b6 or kingside castles, right? Because after e4, what? Takes, I take, he takes, knight to f6, rook goes back. Just seems really quite sad. Not to mention, if I play b6 and all of those things happen, I wouldn't have a pawn on d5, and he would have scope down the long diagonal. So if I play bishop b7, it would be purely defensive to hold on to this pawn, which means I would be incentivized to not play b6 in the first place, but that means that my bishop is just stuck behind the pawn structure. And I just want to make sure I'm not overlooking something super obvious that I'm going to like kick myself for missing later. Knight to e4. I think the most concerning reply would be knight takes. Pawn takes back, or at least the most challenging reply would be to isolate this pawn on e4. Then what? Knight e5 isn't possible because I think I'm attacking too many times. If knight to d2, that's not knight d2, that is. Pawn to f5. If f3, e3? Just loses the pawn. But if I take, he takes back, and then e6 is weak. Wow, this kind of sucks. If I could do anything right now, it would be magically close up the center so I still have flank attack ideas. Because you can't really attack down the flank if the center's open. So what to do? What if h5 right now? Is that crazy? I think it just allows bishop g5. Darn these 2300s and their super solid openings. You know what? Knight to e4, knight takes, pawn takes, knight d2, e3. Pawn takes, just completely disrespecting him to his face. That's diabolical. Oh my goodness. What to do? Wow, I actually viscerally hate my position right now. This is very bad. Knight to e4, I'm really stuck on this idea. I just don't think I can make it work, because f5 is the only way to defend because there's suddenly two attackers. So I have to defend with a lesser value piece. F3, and then what? How do I justify my terrible moves? What if I just play like, that's so dumb though. Maybe I do have to castle. Wow, I really don't like this position. If I have to castle, if I must, e4, pawn takes, rook takes, knight to f6. I guess rook goes back. Yeah, I hate that position. I don't know. I think I would hate myself more if I played a very passive game and then still lost than if I just rolled the die right now and got punished for it. So let's go knight to e4.
Ooh, hello. I didn't see this move. Okay, so knight e4. There is a theoretical way to do this. So the idea is if you take, the knight goes back, you play this. There is also the potential of playing knight d2, also defending this pawn. Knight d2. What about knight takes here and here? Then I go a4. This is a complicated move. I'm going to spend some time on this. So let's firstly just get this one out the way. Here. What about knight g5? Immediately counterattacking and having two pawns, or two pieces look at the pawn. Then there's f5 you need to worry about. He is just cementing his bishop in there, right? And then I also, I don't have e3. That's a shame. I don't have e3 because it cuts off the defense of my knight. So takes, knight g5, f5. And he's threatening h6 maybe? I might sit here and think, and my editor will cut out some of my just boring thinking. because I think that this is the move that requires my attention. So maybe takes isn't that good. Takes knight d7 I don't think is any better because of just... Oh, maybe it is fine. Takes knight d7, f4. I feel in this position, maybe there's some inclination to actually go c5, push the bishop back, so you've got a little bit of a bastion on d6 perhaps? And you also take away his possibility to go c5 with tempo. So takes, knight back, f5, c5, bishop c7. And then I was thinking, okay, can we actually go f3 in this position? And just undermine the center completely. I feel like it might be good. Knight back, f4. I mean, there's even the possibility, can we go f3 here? I do like this. Takes, knight back, f4, f3. And we're not leaving any holes in the position. Maybe in that line we have to be worried about takes. But then takes, knight takes? No, this is fine. This is good. I like this. I've calculated this to be decent for white. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like takes, knight d7, f4, and f3 just seems very, very playable. Well, there's also no d takes c. I've miscalculated that. Takes here, f4, f3. He can push, I guess, but, you know, I'm just going to dive in with the knight, and I've got bishop takes e3. So let's go ahead and take this knight and drop the knight back to d2.
Okay, knight takes. No reason in thinking about this. We just take back. No doubt he's going to play knight d2. Hello, knight d2. We were just talking about you. Okay, f5 was the move that I calculated. e3 is not completely off the board, but I think f5 is more convincing. f3, e3. Knight goes back, f4. Pawn takes, bishop takes. I lose the pawn, but I'm kind of optimistic about like my attacking chances there. So let's just go f5.
I don't think I need to be worried about too much here. There is the potential. There is the potential of f3, e3. No, but then I have knight f1 also. Yeah, I like f3. It's a weird move. It's a move that you feel like shouldn't work probably, but I don't really see a reason for it to not work. We're just threatening to take.
There's f3, which is definitely the most sound move, challenging that center pawn. e3 is the move that I said I was going to play. If knight to b3, I think f4 is fine. If knight to f1 is probably the scary response. f4, pawn takes. Maybe I just castle too. Take back with the bishop. I think it's my only chance at least. So let's go e3.
Yeah, so he's pushed. And now I'm just thinking, okay, knight f1 just looked really good. There is the caveat of knight f1, there's this. But then takes. Bishops come off the board. Knight comes in. Yeah, you've got like opened up my king, but I'm winning a pawn. Oh, my rook. If I go here, he has this. And my rook's trapped. Okay. Luckily I spotted that. So what about just knight b3 then? Knight b3 if f4. Knight f1, is this so bad? I feel like my bishop's gonna be really good. My bishops are gonna be really good. It's an unplanned sacrifice, but it could be an option. Let's just look at the alternative first. Knight b3, he's gonna play this. And he is threatening to take a pawn, so I have to take, and then he takes back. And then I play queen d3. But then he probably plays queen g5, defending the pawn again. And he's feels like he makes some decent inroads there. So knight f1, bishop here. I'm not sure that the knight should take, because the knight doesn't really have any potential beyond this square. But I guess the bishop doesn't either. So takes, let's say takes. I'm going to have a huge center. Like, it's going to be massive. Knight here. Maybe bishop takes is better, though. I do like bishop takes. I could plant it, like, here, but then there's this also. Damn, it's like I just need a couple more moves to, like, have this, like, insane position. Let's calculate this one again. Here. Is there any benefit to having c5 on the board? Probably not, right? Just back. Yeah, no. So here, let's say... I could also play g4. This seems, like, terrible, though, right? Here, takes. Yeah, I don't love it. I like knight f1. Knight f1, and I like trapping my rook. Okay, let's go for knight f1.
Okay, we do in fact get knight back to f1. This pawn is shaking its boots as things stand. Question is, do I castle first or play f4? I think I just play f4 because h5, h4 stays on the board, which I think I like. So f4 immediately defends the pawn. The only way for him to take this pawn is to take the pawn on f4 and sort of weaken his king side. Bishop takes back, bishop takes. Am I justified in any of this? I don't think I am, but maybe like g5. If bishop takes, pawn takes, semi-open file, or actually completely open file at that point. And if the bishop doesn't take, then I've sort of cemented my bishop on f4, which I think I like as well. Any other considerations that I should be having? Because I could also just play h5 right now. The problem is that opens the door for... Actually, is that a problem? f4? h4. He takes, I take, pawn takes, g5. But I can't even slide my queen over, because the bishop defends h1, h3, and the knight defends h2, which means there's actually no entry point there. What about g5? Regardless of what piece he takes back with, there's f4. Takes, takes, and then I force the file to open, because if he ignores it and drops the bishop back, actually, there's no buts about it. If he drops the bishop back, then there's 3 different pieces defending this pawn, and only 2 attacking, because of the pawn on f4, which is a problem. Okay, we'll just play f4 right away.
Wow, he doesn't go for it. Okay. So takes, like, is allowing this still. But then I do just have bishop takes, and my whole plan just gets out a lot faster. So let's go ahead and take.
I will admit, problem is I'm super underdeveloped, so if I want this attack to work, I'll probably need a tempo or 2 to get some pieces involved. Like, I might not even be able to take that right now. If I do, bishop takes... I just don't like that position. What about g5? Pawn takes, queen takes, bishop takes... It's so questionable. It's so dubious. But if we're going to try this, then we might as well commit to the bit. g5, let's go. Let's get active.
Huh. That is interesting, Mr. Checkmate. Okay. So I have this. So bishop takes looks cool, but the bishop gets shoved back. I do control a lot of squares. Can also run over. If this takes, I have this, then h5. Then I have knight here, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, and nothing. So bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop f2. And then the bishop is shut out by this pawn, which is really useful. I think we'll take with the bishop. We are getting a little bit low on time considering where we're at in the game, so let's take with the bishop.
Okay, bishop... Ooh. Bishop takes e3? This smells dubious to me. Pawn takes is the obvious move. Bishop f2 seems most reasonable because it adds more defenders. Rook to g8, though. And aren't I just doing fantastically with, like, queen g7 mating ideas? Is this even my job to calculate? No, I'm just gonna take.
I'm a little bit worried about this, just how quickly he gets involved. Like bishop here, rook here. I actually should have spent more time thinking about that. That sucks that I've kind of allowed that. Bishop here, rook here, and I've got like some pretty annoying problems. Like here, rook here. I mean, sacrificing is an option. Like here, takes, and here. And I've got a huge center, and I've got 2 pawns for the piece. Yeah, bishop c1, queen here. It doesn't look like there's a great way to stop this attack coming in. Actually, bishop here, queen here, king h1, rook here, and bishop here. Suddenly all the squares are covered, which is ridiculous that that even exists. Wow, does that work? Okay, I need to sit and calculate this. Bishop f2, queen g7, king h1, rook g8, bishop h3. That is a ridiculous defense if that works. Oh my god, I think it does. It's just the g1 square's covered, the g2 square's covered, and that's all you need. I'm lucky that that's a thing. If that is a thing, I'm very lucky to have it because I didn't see this. Yeah, you can't come back this way because you need the defense of g1. Bishop f2, rook here. Also covers this, which is maybe important. Bishop here, 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 rook here, bishop h3. Let's say he goes here, here, I mean I can take. Bishop f2, I feel like it's must be working. Let's go bishop f2.
Okay, sorry. I'll admit I was texting back my girlfriend who was asking about how did the collab go? I'm in the collab. It is going right now, actually. Okay, bishop does go back to f2. Again, I don't think... Oh, hi, Unk. Now we have Unk watching the game. I don't think this is my job to worry about. I think my job is just to play rook to g8, queen to g7, and it's his job to worry about how to get out of this. Oh, king to king to h1? What does that do? What are you doing, Jack? What are you doing? Okay, queen g7, what? Oh, bishop h3, he's breaking the pin. Okay, I can see that, that makes sense. Queen to g7, bishop h3, queen h6. Forces the bishop back. Queen g5, bishop h3 again. Okay, I think I have to be super precise here. What am I meant to do here? Queen g7 I think is a no-brainer. Or queen g5 actually is also kind of a no-brainer. I think both of those moves would be super reasonable. Bishop h3, maybe queen h5. Because the only move, or I guess he could take, so maybe queen h6 is necessary to defend the pawn. Because the only move there would be bishop back. At which point, maybe I can get away with knight to f6. e5. It just seems so slow because I don't actually have an attack going. I just have one open file. If I could have this bishop looking at h3, I think I'd be just completely winning. So how can I do that? Queen g7 I think is fair. Let's start with queen to g7, because I think the only move he has is bishop h3 anyways. Then maybe queen h6, bishop g2. Then something amazing will follow. Right, there's bishop h3, queen h6, forces the bishop back.
I think I can just go here. There shouldn't be anything wrong with playing this. Here. I don't love that though. I don't think we can take. That seems pretty insane. If I take here, he absolutely... Oh, but he can't go there. Oh wait, no, he can because the bishop defends, right? Okay, there's the possibility of going back and shuffling around. But here, knight here, comes with temper. We can't play h3, it doesn't help because takes, he'll take with this. Obviously can't play king g2. There's no world in which I sacrifice this, right? Well, maybe there is. Here, queen here, rook here. Takes. There's probably just a million defenses for this, right? Queen back probably is just fine. Wait, that looks interesting actually. I'm probably wasting my time looking at this, but like here. He can probably just refuse. Then I get this in, he goes back. I don't think I have anything there, right? That looks kind of insane. I also don't have rook here and here. So yeah, I think I have to go bishop g2. Bishop g2, maybe he just goes in here anyway, but I don't know what that achieves. Bishop g2, if you go here, I go here. It's kind of just repeating moves. Bishop g2, knight here, knight here. Let's go bishop g2.
Okay, bishop does go back to g2. I do think that was the only move, so that makes sense. Now what? It'd be so funny to be like, because I do watch the collabs that I'm in, so it'd be really funny to watch this back and find out that this was all like me walking on eggshells and he's calculating way deeper than I am. That would be quite funny. Okay, what would also be funny is if I could win this. Okay, knight to f6 I think makes sense. I think e5 makes sense. I think any of these like developing moves rather make sense. Because the queen alone and the rook alone I don't think can break through, but let me take a moment to check this. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way these two pieces alone will checkmate the king as long as he can move back and forth. So what to do? Yeah, now I have to reckon with the fact that my pieces are really underdeveloped. I think knight to f6 is the most natural move, but I don't know what the follow-up is there. I think e5 is also kind of natural. Pawn takes, knight takes. If e3, like bishop h3, and then I'm back in business for sure. So if I can get e5 and the knight out of the way, then I can get the bishop on h3, and then I think I'm winning again. So what does he have to stop me from doing either of those things? Because after e5, I'm kind of just threatening almost to move the knight to play bishop h3. So e5, he doesn't have to take, he could just like play e3. And what would I do there? Knight back would be insane, I think. Pawn takes bishop h3. Problem is at that point the pawn is removed, so maybe knight here and I can't even take back because it would be pinned. Things are happening and I'm getting a little bit scared. What to do? Maybe knight f6, e3, knight h5. Pawn takes, knight g3 is too late because I've lost the pawn. This pawn is like so critical. It's like holding the entire thing together like a little piece of super glue. Like, you know the meme of the guy that like slaps the piece of, what is it, like flex tape or something? There's like an enormous like boat leaking or something and he slaps some flex tape on it. That's this pawn. This is a little piece of flex tape that I've slapped on the position that's holding my attack together by a string. The whole thing is so sketch. e5, e3 I don't love. Let me just calculate this for a minute. You know what I could do, which would be crazy, is knight f6, e3, bishop d7. and I just ignore him completely. If he takes, I don't care. I'm castling my king, and then I have enough firepower to kind of reconfigure my position, because I don't think I can hold on to this pawn, right? This pawn holds on to e5, so there's literally nobody that can come to his defense other than major or minor pieces. So if Jack wants to double up his pawns in the name of opening up the center of the board, then I just have to make sure my king isn't there when he does. So let's go knight to f6 with the idea of bishop d7, queenside castles, and giving up whatever material is necessary to firstly get the king safe, and secondly get some more pieces involved in the attack.
So he's played knight f6. Let's play this, back to c7. Well, I think we have to just go for it, right? Knight d2, knight here, back to c7. What is our move? What is the threat? Like, if I was to just, like, ignore everything... Well, that's a bad move to ignore everything. But, like, what if I played c5 and you went here? Ooh, c5 is maybe interesting. c5, knight here. Let's say knight d7 now. Knight check here, here, here. If e5... Oh, wait, c5? Knight here, we just take, right? And then here, here, here. Here, e4. Here, bishop takes. Here, here, and the knight's still there? Yeah, okay. So c5, he has to respond. And then if we go here, here, knight here, check, bishop takes here, here, e4. Huh, this is super difficult. Oh my god. c4, bishop c7, knight d7, knight a5, knight e4, check, bishop takes here, push, e4. There's almost an incentive to play e4 here, right? e4 feels like the right move now, because this is held. e4, if you take, I en passant, I open up the game. e4, I'm threatening to just shut down this bishop. e4, if knight here, I just go here. And now there's no problem with that. So the knight needs to stay here. And I actually just have to contradict my initial thoughts and the principles of the position, which was to keep this bishop at bay, and realize, okay, this bishop's going to get active anyway. Let's play e4. Yeah, I think you need to... Maybe we go e3, actually. No, e3 doesn't make sense. Let's go e4. e4, what if e5? Well, then I just go takes. e4, e5. Let's go e4. We got 10 minutes left. e4, knight here, e5, check, takes, h3, and you're left with nothing because this bishop can't get in. Let's go e4.
Okay, never feareth, I do return. I see e4 is on the board, which is quite scary. Forking ideas are on the way. He's inviting me to en passant, and then surely he will take with his knight so I can deliver checkmate. But I've upgraded from Red Bull because I remembered that I had some brownie on the stove. So now I have some slightly stale brownie and a cup of milk, which will super fuel my chess play. Okay, e4 is concerning because e5 is obviously an immediate threat. If I respond with something like knight to h5 to get this off my back, knight g3 looks like fun. I'm not gonna deny that for even a moment. I might actually play this just in the name of, because if e5 bishop back, I don't care, right? Closes up the center and I'm back in business with crazy ideas. But if knight h5, d5 trying to open up the position, e5, drop the pawn, who cares? Bishop h3 maybe. Bishop takes, check, a little bit suspicious, but there's ideas there, right? Because with e4, I know we all have the joke that en passant is forced, and boy, is it a funny looking move, but I think knight h5 here keeps the advantage, because how do you stop this? Check, knight takes, pawn takes. I'm threatening mate and the bishop. That seems pretty convincing. Not to mention, if it happens the other way around with bishop takes, pawn takes, this bishop is also sort of forming a battery with the pawn on g3. So what's the worst case scenario? h5, e5, I think, is the worst that could happen. Maybe just bishop b4, tickle his rook right away. Rook comes up. I think I'm fine there, to be honest. Check, takes is maybe the worst. So maybe I delay the knight g3 move and just play like bishop d7 and queenside castle. Wait, can I just play e5? Why am I letting him play e5? I've just realized I'm completely letting this happen. Pawn takes, bishop takes, opens up the queen, but I don't think he has follow through yet. Not to mention with e5 pawn takes, can I play bishop h3? Brilliant move, sacrificing everything in order to get check. I think I can. Okay, e5 is now on the board.
I do like this. If e5, just d5. I guess there is the potential of him just shutting down the game like this. Yeah, okay, but now d5, right? d5, knight here, I'm going to take. If you check, I'm going to take, and if you take, I actually don't need to even play h3 anymore because my knight is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Takes here doesn't seem right, just doesn't open up the right pieces. Maybe I've got this first, c5. He also can't take because of this. So what about c5? Bishop back, and then d5. c5, bishop back, d5. Knight here, let's say d6. Check, takes. Let's go c5. c5, maybe there's this. But then I've got this, so that can't be right. I like c5 quite a lot. Comes with tempo and allows us to do what we want anyway, which is break open the game in a way that's meaningful for us. So let's see here. Here, d5. Takes. Maybe there's this as a problem. But then I have this. Yeah, no, c5 looks good. c5, there's this maybe. Takes in here, and oh man, I did not see that. Okay, so I probably do need to change my plan here now. c5, bishop h3. Takes here, and he's threatening g2 checkmate. So I probably need to play knight d2. Knight here. Then c5. Knight takes. Bishop takes here. Then maybe I even go back. Okay, we need to play knight d2 there. I think knight d2 is just, we need to play it. Knight d2, if bishop here, we can go rook g1. Okay, let's play knight d2.
Ooh. I don't know if I'm going to choke on my brownie, but knight d2. Oh, because he saw bishop h3 and wants to play rook g1. Okay. I see what's going on here. Can knight h5 work now? Because rook g1, knight g3 check. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and then it's forced mate. If you advance the pawn, I have bishop takes. If knight h5, king over, then just bishop h3, and I think that's crushing. So yeah, knight h5.
If knight here, c5. Yeah, okay, c5, checks here. c5, checks, takes, knight f1. I mean, he has c5, checks, takes, and rook takes also. I don't know if that's a thing. I assume not. I think c5 is good. c5 checks, takes, knight f1 is ridiculous. Bishop here. I can just play the hilarious queen e2. Let's go c5.
I wonder if I'm going to learn from this that I'm also just a stronger player when I actually take the time to think about my moves. It would change almost nothing, I'll be totally honest, because I find this kind of length of chess game way more boring. And obviously I'm entertaining myself right now because I know that I'm talking to an audience. So hello, Jack's audience. Also, if you watch Jack's videos but you're not subscribed, subscribe. It's totally free. So I can entertain myself now because I'm talking to you guys. But, you know, by myself, I think I'd actually drive myself insane. Or at least at a tournament, I can walk around and see other people's games, but not here. Okay, pawn to c5. What about knight g3? I don't think knight g3 works. King g1? Bishop h3? Pawn takes? Am I that good? I don't think I'm that good. What else can I do? Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. I could also play queen g5, force rook to g1, and then sack the knight. Because in that case, if pawn takes, queen shuffles over, bishop takes, checkmate. So rook g1, knight check. Best case scenario, he takes with the bishop, or at least best move for him, I think there would be takes with the bishop. Pawn takes back, but then h3. Queen shuffles over, but probably back to h6. So there's no f4, you know, trading queens idea. And then I'm threatening to take. But then I'm hanging the bishop. Am I good enough that I can hang bishops? I don't know about that. It's a little bit sketchy. Any universe where I just like take. King takes back. I mean, that'd be cool if it worked, but I don't know if it works. Okay, what about knight g3, king g1, bishop h3? That was the first line I looked at. I kind of dismissed it because of pawn takes. But bishop takes forces the king to take back. And then pawn takes forces the bishop to take queen to h4. And I don't think it's possible to defend this bishop. But I have to be sure that I actually think that's the best line. I also like it because it moves the bishop out of the way, which means I can castle at some point in the future. Which I know is crazy, we're on move 21 and deep into this attack, but castling is not a bad choice for me still. You know, the structure is sound, and it would put the rook on the same file as the queen. So, still some upsides to castling even at this late stage. So what was I looking at? Knight g3, king g1 is the only move, I think. Bishop h3. It's so sketchy. It just really is so dubious. But okay, pawn takes. Bishop takes, threatens queen to h1, so king has to take back. Do I take with the pawn, or do I just queenside castle there like an actual maniac? Pawn takes. Rook sack, bishop takes, rook g8. King f2. I just don't think that I can get away with that. But what I do think I can get away with is pawn takes and threatening queen to h2. So knight g3 it is.
Okay, he's committed to it. Okay, we have to take. Do we have to take? I didn't actually even consider if we have to take or not. I assume we would. But we've calculated king h1 just feels like you're delaying the inevitable. Probably even just a repeat of moves, which doesn't feel right. But takes. Knight f1. Takes. Yeah, let's go takes. Takes, rook here. Again, we can go knight f1. Unless I've miscalculated something massively here, knight f1 is just a crazy holding move. I don't think this is an intermezzo. There we go. Now we have knight f1.
But knight to f1? Wait, that doesn't work. I just take. Does it? So much to think about all of a sudden. Bishop h3 though, what about that? Knight can't take because the rook takes. Bishop h3, bishop h3. Queen d2. Or just pawn takes maybe? No, but then I take and then that's devastating. I don't know. Bishop h3. Rah! Attack the enemy.
Yeah, I thought this, but just queen e2, right? Queen e2, if you go here, I go here. If you go queen here, I can go like knight, I don't know, e3, and all bases are covered. Queen e2. Can he castle? Oh my god, he can still castle, can't he? That's ridiculous. But he won't castle anytime soon because there's a lot of things to look out for. Okay, let's go queen e2. Queen e2, what about takes? Takes. Rook check, king here. And I'm just safe. Let's go queen e2.
Now what? I just take, right? Surely. Because after takes, I have rook takes g2.
Now we have takes. Oh my god, for a second I thought we had this, but here there is check, here. Check. Oh my god, has he found... If takes, there is check here and check, and I didn't even see that, and it's mate. Wow. Okay, so I have to play like this. I have to play knight here. Knight here. If here, I go takes. And if he takes, I can take. Okay, we have to go knight e3. Thank God for this move. Oh my days, I missed that mate. I completely missed that mate. Wow. What a mate. That's beautiful. Okay. Knight e3. I don't think he can sacrifice the queen. I just get like king h2. So here, just looks good.
Whoa, knight to e3 is a move. I didn't even see that like remotely. Okay, so the idea is takes and then knight takes here. On the bright side, we have him playing defensively. The downside is I don't know how to follow through here. Maybe I just take here. And I don't think I care about him taking my bishop because I take the knight and then this is a problem again. So I take maybe bishop takes though. Queen takes. So confusing. I did kind of put my... Oh my goodness, can I take this? Queen takes, check, king takes, check, e5, takes, rook takes. Did I do anything there? Didn't I win 2 bishops? Okay, takes, queen takes is kind of forced almost. Bishop takes, king takes is forced, pawn takes, check, and there's no way to defend the queen, so I just win 2. Okay, give me your knight! Rah! If I actually win this, I'm going to be so freaking happy if I win this.
It's a little bit tricky. Yep, what? I mean, first of all, I have this. I think he's thinking, okay, takes. Here, he's got this check. But I also just have this, right? And if check, I have this. If queens, I have this. If takes and check, I have king takes. Takes, check. King takes, check. Wait, also, do I not just have... Wait. Takes here. Here, check, here. Oh, he takes with this, right. That's no good. But I do have bishop takes. And if rook takes, I have this. Takes, takes, rook takes. I have this. And I'm winning, so I should just have this, right? Oh, I don't want to make a mistake. Here, check, I've got this. Check, I've got this. Here, check, here. Is there anything I could possibly be missing? Here, I just have this.
Okay, he did in fact take on h3. Like, I've never, like, engaged in that type of content. Why am I so distracted? Bishop takes on h3, rook g1. Rook takes, queen takes. Only reasonable response, I think, is rook g8, because if he takes, then I just take the rook for a pawn, and that can't be good. So rook check, bishop back, and I think I'm just winning, so check. Not to mention, when he takes, I can just take right away. What is happening? Why can't I do this? Oh my god, pawn takes bishop. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see that move. Okay, what do I have to do then? Takes, takes. Oh, I don't think I'm winning anymore. Takes, takes, check. King over, queenside castle, takes, check. Am I sacrificing pieces until the bitter end? You bet I am. Right, because I can't play this because he just takes my bishop, which is an enormous oversight on my part. Wait, can't I just take and win a rook? Oh wait, I can just take. Oh, and then I just win this rook. Okay, so I'm up a rook. You know what? I bet he saw that too. I bet he saw that as soon as he was calculating the line and is like thinking, oh, I have counterplay with the pawn or something. Like, that's a very Jack sort of calculation, I feel like. And I didn't see any of that, to be honest. Okay, so we're up a rook, question mark, but we're also down like many, many pawns. Very dubious stuff. Let's take this.
Okay, so he's taken that. Do I just like go for it? Like just play e5, allow him to take, play e6? I think we go e5, right? e5 here, e6. And then we can start thinking about, okay, what about rook g2 and mate? Here, here, rook here. Let's go e5. This is such a bad rook. Oh, he does have this, but then I have this.
Secret third option, rook g2. I obviously cannot castle because the bishop covers that square. So what, king f7?
Oh, I didn't see this actually. But now I have check here. I should have check. And like, maybe this.
e7, yeah, for sure is the best move there. Dang it, I thought I was winning. Now what's he gonna do? d7, and then he's gonna grab a queen. I didn't approve of this transaction. Why would he do this? Okay, how do I do this? King here? No, because if d7, I'm threatening to take this anyways, so that's not news to anybody. You'd imagine rook to e1, and I have to force my own promotion before he gets his on the board.
Rook e1's a really good move. Oh, I don't know what to do. What about king g3 is bad because of this. Actually, king g3, king here, rook here, king g1, check, bishop here, here. Doesn't work because I go take, take, and here. And if he takes, I go here. But then here. Oh my god, this is so not clear. Here, here. Queens takes, bishop takes. Is that endgame winning for me? Oh, it's so difficult. What about king here, check, bishop here, h5. King here, here. I've got takes, takes, and here. So I'm not worried about that at all. King here, check, bishop here, h5. Takes, takes, king here. I don't think I'm winning that there. Here, check, bishop here. h5, I go here. Okay, let's go king g3. I don't know if I'm playing this endgame right, but I just don't have the time to think about it, to be honest.
Nice. King to g3 is a great sign. Why do I not just play check? King over, I take, king takes. Push the pawn. Here, I promote. What is happening here? d8 or e8, I think I just ignore and I just go for checkmate. I think that makes sense. Yeah, rook to g8. Let's go. Oh, bishop g4 to block. Now, why not just h5? King f2, check, and then I just win that, I think. Okay. Do I have time for h5? Yeah. Yeah, I can play h5. That's just a bishop. That's just a free bishop, I think. Rook shuffles. Oh, I forgot this was plus 10 as well. Okay, so he's threatening this pawn, which makes sense. Takes, he takes. I take with check, he takes back. King over. d7, I just take. Yeah, he can't win that, I don't think. Yeah, check. And then, let me make sure. King e6. I'm threatening king d7, which secures a victory. King e6, d7 is the only try he has. But then I just take, and you can't even promote because I'm covering the back rank. Okay, king to e6.
Rook f2, where does he go? Yeah, I mean, this is not helping the cause, is it? Maybe I have to go here. Let's go king f2.
Yeah, king goes back. He's trying to get me to get off this file, which I refuse to do. Rook to e5. Yeah, and there's b4. Now king to d7. We're going to play this super safe and sound. Rook d5.
Ooh, it's not the move that I expected, actually. But it should just be all over anyway. Rook d5, and the game's over. Yeah, good game. Very well played. This is such a cool game there. I'll resign, but we're going to jump into a call with Tony now and take a look at the analysis.
I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I didn't realize how long this video would end up being, and considering that most people don't actually watch the analysis of these kind of videos anyway, I've decided to put it on my Patreon. It's completely free, so you guys can still access it, but YouTube tends to dislike longer videos, so I thought I would keep it short and remove the analysis. Again, a big thank you to Tony for coming on the channel. It was a fantastic game. I had a lot of fun recording. I'll leave all the links to Tony's channel in the description below, but I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.